physics geometry. Okay. My talk will be first a long introduction, I think that I like, and second, maybe a little less interesting, is my work during 20 minutes. So, in the title of my subject, there was this non-equilibrium Markov process I will forget. So I will begin to speak of non-equilibrium. After I will speak what is large deviation. After I will speak a little what is why I want to do conditioning. So, non-equilibrium physics. You see this week there is mainly two approaches for learn non-equilibrium physics. First is to study peculiar toy model, and up to learn things still true for more general model. By example, we see this week a lot of times this exclusion process, which is a kind of Drosophil model of non-equilibrium physics. And you know that Stanislas Ulam told, when he speaks of non-equilibrium physics, that study non-equilibrium physics is the same that study non-elephant biology. So it's a little the same, that this exclusion process, study the non-equilibrium physics with no exclusion process is the same that study non-elephant biology with Drosophil model. And the second philosophy, but which is the two can be used in the same time, and we have this philosophy, by example, in the talk of Fiona, is to try to look very general model, where we try to extract from the general model universal result, say typical behavior or large deviation. So the second thing in my title was this large deviations. And so what is large deviation? It's a study of rare events. Rare events with respect to what? With respect to a typical behavior. So I will take, by example, a random variable, a t. T can be the time or number of particles discrete, no problem. And I will suppose that at large time, this converges almost surely towards something which is not fluctuating, which is deterministic, which I give the name A bracket. And what is a large deviation is to tell, okay, O scale, the probability that at large time, at the t, be close to something which is different, that is A bracket. And in general, all the time it's 0, because almost surely I go toward A bracket. And the question of large deviation, it is how much it is 0, and in a lot of cases, it is 0 exponentially time decreasing, with this function e to a, which is positive, which is the right functions. And at this time, you can tell me, okay, why do you care with events which are exponentially rare? They never arrive, they have a probability 0, then you can forget. This is a trick of mathematician, you can forget this type of events. But if you think to the real life, events which have very weak probability can be very important if they have big impact. By example, earthquake or financial crisis. And it is exactly the same in physics. And in statistical physics, it means that large deviation will be important because the observables that you look are as big when you departure from A bracket that the probability was little. What I want to tell is that the observable that you look has exponentially t times something. And then when you departure from A bracket, this compensates exactly the fact that the probability was little, and the large deviation is very important then for statistical physics. Okay, now why I want to speak of conditioning. In fact, conditioning is ubiquitous in the life. Every time that you take a decision, it is with respect to something which arrived for you before. If today I give a very bad talk, when you will see me in 2 years, you will try to avoid my talk. Because you will remember that I give a bad talk, and then you will adapt your strategy for avoid my talk. But sometimes conditioning is not very intuitive. Think, by example, to this example that we teach to our students, which is this let's make a deal or Montiel problem. Sometimes it appears that conditioning is not at all directly, we must be warning that what is the conditioning event. So, introduction of my problem. Physically, first, I will take a non-equilibrium process. I will look this process through an observable. I will consider, and I want to consider just the trajectory which restricts to a given value of the observable. And my goal will be to construct an effective process at large time where I can forget the constraint. Tell you the same thing a little more mathematically. I have a Markov process. I will consider the conditional process by fixing the observable. And all my goal will be to deconditioning that at large time to find a process y where I can forget the conditioning. all my talk will be for diffusion process. Or the second part of the talk, when I arrive to my work, will be for diffusion process because it's more close to the life for physicists. But here, just as an introduction, I will give pure jump case, pure jump example. So we see this week many times a pure jump process. It's something which is given by transition rate. And me, I will consider a process which lives in the city of the world. The process, it is a scientific man. The scientific man that I will take just for example is Satya Majumdar. So Satya Majumdar obtained a position in Tata Institute. Then, at this time, we fix the W, which is the rule of the life of Satya, when you obtain the positions. So this is Satya dependent. So this tells you, by unit time, the rate that you pass from a city X to a city Y. And if you obtain a position in Tata Institute, there was a very big W that he passed from Tata to New York, for Princeton, by example, but a very weak that he do Paris-Toulouse, or Toulouse-Paris, or Paris-Nice. This was very weak at this time. And now, how I will learn the life of Satya, not by looking precisely what he do, but just by a purely mercantile view. I will just look what he expends as money. It means that my observable will be a first part, which will be a rent part, what he pay for rent his apartment, which he is in his city, or at the hostel when he trip. So this 60 is a place where he is. This function f don't depend of Satya, is universal. There is a f of Paris, a f of Nice, a f of Lyon, a f of Tata Institute. So this is universal. This depends of Satya, this is universal. And I will also add a trip part. Means what he pay to the company aircraft when you do trip. So when he trip means that he jump, the process is discontinuous, and there is a function, universal once again, which tells you when I take the plane between the city departure and the city arrival, how I pay as price. And then now, this observable, the cost of the life of Satya, if I give the initial distribution as a typical behavior. I will not write explicitly, but it's very easy to show what is a bracket for Satya. And the question will be, no, I let Satya evolve, 20 years, by example, and finally, his life change. I don't know how his life change, but he don't follow this typical behavior. This, at 20 years, which is big, is equal to A, which is different than a bracket. And the question will be, no, how I must to modify this initial transition rate such that by conditioning with respect to this value that I know by looking the cost of the life of Satya. And parallel question that we'll see at the end maybe of my talk that it is the same. I ask the questions, how I can modify this initial rate. I want to give a new rules of life, a new W, but in a sense, in a minimal modification, such that the untypical behavior of Satya, this A, become typical with respect to this new rate. You will see at the end that it is the same things. My conditioning problem permits to answer to these things of minimal distance in relative entropy sense. So this was just for motivate. No, my talk will, when I will write my talk, it will be not for jump process, but for diffusion process. Okay, this story of deconditioning is very old in probability. It begins with Doob in 1957. I will jump this slide, I think, because I have no time. But Doob do to one example, which was conditioning a Wiener process to go out 0L via the right. And he showed that he finds this Bessel process, which is evident because you know that when y want to go to zero at the right, then the drifts push you infinitely quickly to the right, and then you must at a moment to go in the right, to go out the interval 0L to the right. Okay, I will jump this story of Boolean bridge and quasi-stationary for tell you that Doob was not the first. Same usually, there was a physicist, very, very famous, which is called Erwin Schrödinger, which consider in 1931 in a German article and in 1932 in a French, very, very beautiful article, which was called On the Relativist Theory of Electron and the Interpretation of Quantum Mechanics, which consider a case of conditioning. So this article is in EHP also. Enfin, mine is in EHP, same him, moreover. Okay, so what was the problem that Schrödinger tell? I will translate for you. This was my dream to become translator. There was also the German article, but for me it was not readable. Imagine that you observe a system of particles in diffusions which are in thermodynamic equilibrium. Here is the Wiener process, free Brownian motion. Admit at the time t0, you find these particles uniformly distributed, which are in equilibrium. And you come back at time t1, and then you find a spontaneous departure from this equilibrium, from this uniformity. And this is surprising. And the question is, from what way this departure arrive? What is the most probable way for this departure? So the departure is the untypical behavior. The typical behavior was the uniformity. And no, this is typically a conditioning problem. So at this moment, you tell what is the relation with quantum mechanics. Okay, you have an untypical behavior, you want to transform this untypical in typical for a new process. But what is the relation with quantum mechanics? So once again, I cite Schrödinger, which tells that this is the chapter 7, the subject is not directly related to quantum mechanics. First, you will have the feeling that this is not totally related, because this is a classical problem, probability for Brownian motions. But at the end, I will find such strong analogy that it is difficult for me to think that this is just an accident. From what analogy speaks Schrödinger? From the fact that when you solve this problem of conditioning, the process, the diffusion process, the Langevin equation that you find is density, is time explicit density, factorized in two terms, Ct time dt, where Ct is solution of a thermal value Schrödinger equation. Forget the sign. By fixing Ct and dt from an initial value Schrödinger equation. There is no I ici, so it's not Schrödinger equation, it's Euclidean Schrödinger equation. No, this was plus, this was minus. And so, what is this things for Schrödinger? This is the Born rules. Means that this rho factories is something which is related to the wave function psi, and something which is related to the adjoint of the wave function psi bar. This is the analogy that Schrödinger speaks, which is so strong for him. It is this. So why Schrödinger look for this? Because he is not happy with the quantum interpretation, the interpretation of quantum mechanics. And then he tried to understand where come from the Born law. Because we have a quantum mechanics, we have a Born law, we have not a sample space. You don't know what do you forget when you have this Born law. You don't know. And then he tried to understand this. For be honest, since 60 years now from this article, this story is not successful for explaining the quantum mechanics. This is very close to something which is called stochastic mechanics stochastic, which was developed by Edward Nelson, and which is not so far from something which is called Bohmian mechanics, which was developed by a group around Sheldon Goldstein since some year. Okay, but for the moment, it's not people which think that this is the explanation are a minority. There is another thing which is incredible in this article, and this is a German article, which is called Umkehrung der Naturgesetze on the reversibility of the law of the nature. And so you will tell, but okay, what is the story of reversibility? And this was in the same time the Onsager article, and before all the definition of data balance. So the same year that the two articles of Onsager. And what is these definitions for why it tells that this is a relation between reversibility? Because this density of this conditional process, okay, I will tell that this density go because this bridge that Schrödinger introduced, conditioning by final density and initial also, for go to rho 0 to rho 1, Schrödinger understand very well that in this case, where my departure process was a linear process, it verifies these things, which is, it is the same that the time reversal property from go, where I continue to go from rho 1 to rho 0. And this is the fact that Schrödinger tells why I call this, my article, reversibility. But you see that it is not at all reversibility in the sense that we call now, because now a process is reversible if it is stationary, if its density don't evolve, and moreover, if it verifies the delta balance. But this was before this article of Schrödinger, and moreover, in the article of Kolmogorov, the seminal article of Markov chain, the theory der Markov chain Ketten, he cites, look in the line 4, Welch R. Schrödinger. He speaks of this article. So this was the motivation of Kolmogorov, this definition, for put the definition that now you know of the data balance. Okay. So finally, Schrödinger, moreover, he do a lot of other things, very important. So, by example, you saw yesterday in the talk of Jonathan, you had another picture, this is old books. So Watson and Crick, co-discoverer of the structure of DNA, credited Schrödinger books with presenting an early theoretical descriptions of the ADN. And there is also the story of Schrödinger cats that tell you that there is a problem because the quantum mechanics is linear. When you arrive to macroscopic world, you don't understand why you can't do this linearity, where disappears this linearity. So Schrödinger is a very, very great scientific. This article that I speak before is incredible because there is no one equations, but all is true. He don't write the conditional process, as now we will do with Doob transformation. He don't write, but all was true in the article. All the things that he speak by French was true without mathematics. Okay. Now this concludes my introductions, and I will arrive to the core of my talk. So I will go to consider now a diffusion process, very general, which can live in what do you want, arbitrary manifold. So diffusion process, there is a drift part, which is the deterministic part, and now there is a noise part. And I will stay very general. I don't care really the convention for the moment. And you know that for understand this process in general, or we look the evolution of observable, or we look the evolution of probability or density. And for this type of process, this is controlled by a second order differential operator, which has the first order part and the second order part. And really the most complete description of such type of process is to give, as a physics called, a path distribution that I will write in this talk, or this, just P, the weight of one relation on 0t, or if I want to be a little more precise, I will put in index the generator and the initial density where I begin. And now, same before I look the life of Satya with the cost of his life, I will look diffusion process with an observable which is written here, where F is a scalar field and J is a vector field. Means that this is the same, this rand part of before, this first part, and the second part is a trip part of before, but now the trip part becomes this type of increment. And I want to put this, why this is important, because in general, mathematicians, we consider conditioning just look the first part, but for me, the second part was very important, because a lot of observables which are related to current of particles, current of entropy, are in fact with this G part. So it was for this that we must to extend the story which was with F to the story which was with G, mainly. Okay, and what I will suppose on this observable is that she has a large deviation principle. For the moment, just this. And we can show that this is true, mainly, for reasonably F and G. Okay, and now I will introduce the path microcanonical ensemble, which is a conditioned process, which is just a trajectory but conditioned to have a value for a t, and I can just write this a little more physically by putting the delta functions and by renormalizing. And as an intermediate, I can speak also of the path canonical ensemble, which instead of conditioning, I biasing by exponential de kt at t, and I renormalize by the things. In fact, me in my talk, I'm just interested by this, but these canonical things are very popular in physics for a lot of things, because for numerical things, it's more clever to do this sometimes. And then, by example, in this work of dynamical fast transitions for clinically constrained model by Leconte, or by work on Rat trajectory of classifiers by Chandler, or by work of Gunther Schulz for exclusion process, you can consider these canonical things as an interest, which has an interest by himself. Okay, and now I will have 3 steps in my proof. I will first understand these canonical things. And what will you prove, which was not understand, that nobody understood before, I think, was that these things, which look not Markovian, because I'm conditioning with something which depends on the future, because I renormalize by something which depends of time, in fact, is Markovian at finite time. At finite t is Markovian, but inhomogeneously, not homogeneous. This I will prove this first. And this I will do by 2 steps. First, I will look what is the denominator, or I can manage with the denominator, and after I will include the numerator. So first the numerator. I will try to success to rewrite this left-hand side as the probability of a Markovian process, just a non-conservative Markovian process. It loses probability. It's normal because after I will renormalize by the things which compensate. And how I will do this, if I am a physicist, I know AT, I know L. This I write on Saint-Germain loop functionals, and now I try to put my functional in my Saint-Germain loop functional and to look what is the new drift. If I am a mathematician, just I write the Girardot formula backward, in the sense that the Girardot formula gives me in general this over this, and give me a functional, but here I will fix the functional, and I will look what is the generator, what is the modification of the generator, which gives me this functional as a ratio of probability measure. And after some little calculus, I find that the generator, which was before the second or differential operator, now is judged by the G transform, in the sense that all the derivative now is as twisted by a term in Kg, and I have also Feynman-Katz term, which is Kf. And this operator, I will suppose that he has dominant eigenvalue, that is positive in the Perron-Frobenius sense. He has dominant eigenvalue, right positive eigenfunctions, and right positive, left positive eigenfunction Lk. Okay, so this I understand the numerator. The numerator is Markovian, just is Markovian with choose probability. And the generator is Lk. And now I will success to introduce the denominator in the story. This by doing the Doob transform, which is a Doob transform. It is a transformation of the generator, where you remember the generator is a differential operator. It acts on functions. So now LF, which acts on function h, will be f minus 1, L, which acts on fh, minus the function f minus 1 LF, which multiply the function h. This is a generalization of the historical Doob transforms. And what is beautiful is that with these transformations, I success to rewrite my canonical measure as a Markovian measure, where it's a little complicated, but where the non-conservative, which has not non-conservative probability, non-conservative tilted generator, now is Doob transformed by this C, which himself depends of Lk, which is the Lk harmonic functions. In the sense that the equation that this is formal way to write that this equation of Ctt is if I derive it's delta t Ct plus Lk which acts on Ct equals 0 and C big T equals 1. So this is just a formal way, this exponential, for write this Lk harmonic function. Okay, but now my goal is to come back to microcanonical, to conditioning, now that I understood well the canonical things. And first, I must do the limit. I must do the limit of the canonical things when t go to infinity. And it's for this that I suppose these spectral things, because now I must do the limit of these things. But if Lk has a gap and this I have a dominant eigenvalue, it's not so complicated to do. And in fact, it will give me, sorry, I forget, the proof of step 1a, but this is a joke because the proofs are very boring. And, sorry, the proof of the step 2b, I will also jump, so I have no time. So I arrive to the step 2, which is the story that I want now to do the limit of the canonical at large time. And this will give me the most easy result, because now this complicated function harmonic will become just proportional to the RK function, the right eigenvalue, and I will find this double transform of the process non-homogeneous with respect to RK. And you look that the large time homogeneous, the large time t of an inhomogeneous process become homogeneous in the bulk, in the sense that this now is a homogeneous process. So if you want, I go first to project to infinity the time of end of Biesing, and this now gives me a homogeneous process in the bulk. Just there is maybe problem in the border, in the boundary. It's for this that for tell this more cleanly, I must first to restrict to marginalize all the things after time t, and after to do the limit of end of Biesing to infinity. So this was a little complicated part of my talk. Now maybe it's become more simple. In the sense that at the end, the main result, it is that this canonical non-equilibrium process is also a Langevin Markovian. In this limit, is also a Langevin homogeneous Markovian dynamic, where the f, which was the drift before, substitute now as f plus d, which is the covariance of the noise, kg, g was the vector field, the strip part, plus grad, the log, the rk, where rk is this right eigenvalue of this tilted operator. And this, in RK, there is also the f, the round part. So the f is also in this equation. So now I have a good understanding of the canonical, and I want to come back to the microcanonical, and then to the conditioning. Then I will do exactly the same that I do in equilibrium physics, in the sense that if my function of large deviation is convex, then I have an equivalence at the level of ensemble between the canonical and the microcanonical. And this equivalence is tells that, yes, I can understand the microcanonical with a fixed value a by the canonical by choosing k, which belong to the subdifferential of the right functions if the right function is not differentiable, or just if the right function is differentiable, just k equal e prime de a. But this things you see is very weak in the sense that there is here the exponential of O de t. So this is good just for typical behavior. Before it was very strong in the sense that I claim that the large deviation in the canonical of any observable in the canonical ensemble and the large deviation of any observable in my driven process that I call are the same. For the equivalence micro-cano, it is the same that in equilibrium. This is totally wrong. The fluctuations are different between micro and cano, but the typical behavior of an observable are the same. Exactly the same that in equilibrium process. So the weak part of my proof mathematically is here. Clearly, here I lose a lot when I pass from the Biesing to the conditioning. The same for the proof, you can see in the article. Okay, I was too quick maybe. Okay, so for come back to the result. Now I suppose that additive satisfies large deviation functions. I suppose it is important that either A is convex. This for the equivalence between conditioning and Biesing. And I suppose very adroitly that my infinite dimensional generator has verify a kind of Perron-Frobenius theory that he has a gap, and the right eigenvalue are regular, sufficiently regular. And then what I prove is that my conditioning, now I understand my deconditioning process, and that at the level of weight of trajectory, my microcanonical process is the same as this driven process with this generator, which was this double transform, but just if I choose well this entropy, this temperature energy relation, K equal E prime de A. This is good just for typical value, in the sense that if all observable converge toward B star typically at large time, it will be also true here. And by example, one application, I want to see at large time behave the empirical density, the empirical time that I take in a city here. And it is easy to show because this process, this Darwin process, was this RK transform of the non-conservative process. So with this, it is very easy to show that the adjoint is formal adjoint RK dagger RK minus 1 minus, this is a diagonal term, so this nothing change. And now, from this, I can deduce that the invariant density of my Driven process, my deconditioning process, is RK LK, the right times the left, because it will be RK LK dagger, which act on LK, minus LK LK, which act on RK. But this is gamma K LK, by definition of what is the left eigenvalue, and which is gamma K RK, by definition of what is the right dominant eigenvalue. So this is 0. So I have the invariant density of my Driven process, and then the limit of this is the invariant density, and I can deduce this beautiful conditioning limit theorem, in the sense that this is a theorem for the conditioning process, that is this time that I pass in a city is distributed at large time by RK LK with K, which is chosen such that K E prime de A. I insist that this is weak in the sense that this is just for the typical behavior, and we lose the fluctuation when we pass to this microcanonical. There was precursor work which understood well the path canonical ensemble at large time. It was the work of Jack and Solich, and also work of Gunther Schultz on conditioning the jump process as exclusion process. Okay, the end of the story is in my new article, which is a triad between ergodic, variational, and spectral. We begin to see here these large deviation functions. We see the spectral element, we see the conditioning process, and we see the conditioning limit theorem, which was here. So you see that this was spectral element. This was, I see this spectral element as ergodic value or something. And now, in general, when you have spectral theorem, as in quantum mechanics, you are happy to use variational representation of the spectral things, by example, with Rayleigh-Ritz relations. So you are happy to pass to spectral to things. This is if the operator is auto-adjoint. If not, there is things which generalize this, Donsker-Varadan relation mainly. And in fact, or you can pass directly from large deviation to variational things, just by remember that in general, large deviation things, you can see them in a more higher level by looking at more detailed observable. And there is a level very clever for do this, for Markov process. It is the level 2.5 of large deviation, where I look empirical density and empirical currents. This is the time that I pass in a point. And empirical current depends on the type of process, but for diffusion process, or for jump process, maybe I will do. For jump process, it is a number of time where I transit from a city X to a city Y. And these joint large deviations are explicit. The joint deviation of these two quantities, it's called the level 2.5. This was understood first in physics by Christian Maass. And now we have a rigorous proof in mathematics by the Roma group, mainly Lorenzo Bertini, Alessandro Spagnonato, and Davide Gabrielli. And I have a review on this, 2015, with my friend Barato Chetrit, in G-stat phase. So this is a beautiful story. And this is the level explicit, the large versions are explicit, which permits to trivialize all this variational representation finally. And at the end, you have a totally triad. You can jump between ergodic interpretation to spectral to variational, and in all the sense. By example, this gives you these things. That my question for the life of Satya. That the drift of the unconditional process, it is the minimizator such that the observable has under this new process the untypical value for typical value of the relative entropy between my basis process, which was with F, and the process that I look, my new process with the U that I look. So this is the distance in relative entropy that it's minimized, and finally it tells you that the conditioning minimized in relative entropy for the process which transforms untypical behavior as a typical behavior. Okay, so is that a practical interest? This is possible. For the moment, we are far because to obtain this RK, this eigenvalue is most complicated than for obtain the large deviation. So apparently, it is not directly that this we can have a direct physical application. Okay, thanks.
We have plenty of time for questions.
Simple cases like a Markov chain with a finite state space.
Yeah.
I mean, then these theorems somehow be trivialized, or it's still
No. It's people call this, by example, for Markov chain with Czar, XZE. Do little same this for but just with the F part for find the conditional limit theorem. For prove conditional limit theorem, we do this type of method in year 80. It's become most simple, but mainly the work of mathematician on conditional limit theorem. Okay, for example, in books in general are just for ID, and there are articles, same Czar article, where just Markov chain with just this part. So it's a level 2. In fact. Yeah.
Around 0 or?
Do I need this or do I have this?
Do you have it?
Do I in this level 2.5? Yeah, I have this for sufficiently nice F and G. I have your condition, but I don't really need this condition. What I need?
Comes from, I mean, you ask for spectral gap.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a weak point of my article. This is why my article is not a mathematical article. This is a missed theoretical point. This gap theory, it was an hypothesis. I don't success to put the context where it was natural.
If you have second derivative, then you have also local central. You can use also local central limit theorem and.
Very good. For the moment, this is a weak point mathematically of this article. This is another hypothesis for me. The gap is an hypothesis for me.
Rafael, you pointed out that the substitute process has the same, in the substitute process I have the same residence times for being in a certain state, right? Do I also have the correct number of transitions?
Yeah.
That's still
correct. Yeah. Because look, by example, if you forget the F and take for G just a data function which tell you that you can't just when you departure in Nice and you arrive in Paris. So this is the thing that you want. And now the new process will fix for the untypical behavior of this.
This I understand. If I fix it for the transitions from Paris to Nice, but if I now ask, do I have now the same number of transitions from, let's say, Lyon to Bordeaux, which I have not fixed? The substitute process. That's my question.
No. Then no. If I condition just by fixing just the transition between Paris and Nice, my new process will have just the good untypical behavior just of Paris-Nice.
But the time I spend in Bordeaux, that will come out right, you told us.
I don't know.
No, but you had it.
Yeah. But maybe, I have to think.
All right, so we continue now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Continue now with the next pedagogic lecture by Giovanni Gionadasenio on macroscopic fluctuation theory.